What happened here reads straight from a movie script.
His moniker was Hollywood.
He wears heavy makeup, a wig.
His co-star is this 9mm handgun.
Everyone on the floor!
Oh, speaking of which, last night I watched something else. I watched something on Netflix with my my lovely wife. I saw this thing on this bank robber that they called Hollywood that was up in Seattle. You know, and it's one of these classic things where they're having all his friends are talking about him and what a great guy he was and this thing and that thing and all of this. And I didn't see it that way.
It's a funny relationship you have with money. You didn't earn it. You stole it. You took it, spend it freely, and then go get more.
He wasn't Robin Hood. If you look at Robin Hood, it was idealistic. He stole from the rich and gave, all of that nonsense. And Scott wasn't like that.
I was sort of breaking the guy down psychologically. It's like, this is a good-looking guy. He was on his way to becoming a doctor. And then he decided he didn't want to do it. And then, he built, this tree fort out in the woods. And he was always kind of showing off, climbing stuff and doing all of this. And it was just like, oh, this guy has, that. He needs to be famous. He has that sickness. He has that void. So obviously, being a comedian, I recognized it. I'm like, oh, yeah, this guy's like Dr. Phil. Like, Dr. Phil was a fucking therapist. Doctorate Phil, by the way. He's not a doctor. He has a doctorate.
I've got a bachelor's, master's, PhD, postdoctoral fellowship, and I'm a doctor.
Doctorate Phil. Sick of people acting like he's a fucking neurosurgeon. He's a therapist, right? And at some point, he's doing therapy in a room, and it's like, this isn't enough for me. I want to be famous. I want a TV show. He had the sickness. What's funny, though, is he gets to act like he's not sick like me because he goes around helping people. So I'm watching this fucking thing, and I'm looking at this guy going all right, so he's going to be a doctor. And at first, this gives him the attention that he wants, probably from his friends. Oh, my God, you're going to be a doctor.
He was smart enough to have been a doctor. He was one course short of graduating in chemistry and biology. He would have been pre-med.
And then he shows up to the class, and he's in a class with 40, 50 other kids who are all going to be doctors too. So he doesn't feel special. So then he starts fucking cooking crystal meth and all of this stuff. He had to have, he always had to, I don't know. I was just watching just watch it and tell me what you think about the guy. His psychological makeup that, he would watch movies like Point Break and Heat and get these delusional ideas to actually go out in real life and rob banks and shit like that.
Scott would watch films and see different things to get ideas from.
Scott was down on banks and insurance companies. It feels like everyone at the time was.
On the floor, asshole!
Knowing full well that, you're going to get caught in the end or whatever. But it was funny. Everyone was, they just sort of made him out to sort of be this folk hero. And it's no, this guy had a void he was trying to fill by doing all of this crazy stuff so everyone would talk about how fucking amazing he is because of however the fuck he felt about himself. I don't know.
Most suspects followed their media. In fact, I think they actually loved it.
The first time we heard about Hollywood was from the 2-page article with Sean Johnson. He's saying, somebody out there knows who this man is, and we need your help.
His nickname is Hollywood. They call him Hollywood.
Hollywood wears heavy makeup.
I thought he was a little narcissistic. I didn't see the whole Robin Hood shit that they were talking about with that, but it's the story is wild as far as these guys would rob banks and be all right, that's it. I don't want to do another one or whatever. And they would just keep doing it and just fucking go in there every time knowing you're looking at 20 years. Just knowing you're looking at fucking 20 years every time you fucking go, what kind of way is that to live a life? I don't know. I don't even know if I made my fucking point, but I'm just saying, I'm not buying the way that they were selling me that guy, that he was just sort of this adventurous guy. It's like, no, he was like mentally ill. He was a mentally ill dude, and he got a group of people around him that followed him over the fucking cliff. Jesus, Bill, let us enjoy the fucking thing.
He did have a reputation for producing some of the finest substance around. I never heard anybody say that somebody else's meth was better.
I wish you love. Can you tell me where this thing goes? But you just blamed it all on me. Stay down, but you couldn't stay true. Why you wanna go down that road? I wish you love, but you just blamed me. Am I really this far gone? Can you still feel my game? Think about it all day long. What you used to say my name.